What is up, my friends? Chrissy Chin here, ex-registered nurse turned serial entrepreneur, and I am here to help you stand out in this noisy world, identify who you are and who you are talking to so you can crush it in your business so that you have the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve and you dream about. Today's episode, I chat with Tenney, owner of Put on Love Designs. She started her diffuser jewelry company 5 years ago while on maternity leave from her teaching job. She now runs her business from her home office right with her kids by her side. I was going to say right by her kids. Yes, her kids are there. With her kids by her side and a team of 5 people helping behind the scenes so she can focus on the pieces about her business that she absolutely loves and leave that other stuff to the rest of the team. Welcome, Chelsea. All right. So, Chelsea, I want to hear just your story, how you got started, your background. Just tell me all the things.
Okay. Wow. That's a lot.
That's where we're starting. We're going to dive right in.
All right. So do you want the long version or the short version?
Whichever you want to tell us.
Awesome. Okay. Well, basically, I can't believe it, but we've been around for almost 5 years now. So it was back in 2014. I was a teacher. I was a second grade teacher, and I was on maternity leave with my son. And I decided to braid up a little pacifier clip for him. And oils were like super new at the time. They were just starting to like come on the scene, and like influencers, all the stuff, people were starting to Instagram about them, you know. Oh, my awesome headphones. And so I had just gotten my starter kit before I had him. I was super pregnant and I just started using oils. I was not very confident with them, but I was just kind of starting to use them in labor and delivery, and it was awesome. And so I was made a believer, and that was in 2014. And so I wanted to use them around my new baby more, but I didn't really know how. And I put them on this pacifier clip that I had made him that was made out of faux suede. And we went to our first doctor's appointment at 2 months old, and he slept like the whole time. And I was like, okay, that was awesome. Oils
You're like,
work.
Could it be?
Yeah, exactly. And I remember telling my sister that night, like, he did really well and he slept, and he was not an easy baby. And so he did really well. And she was like, you need to share that with other people. Other moms need this tip, you know, that you can diffuse around your baby, like on the go, you know, with a pacifier clip or whatever. So I made a shop on Etsy. And so this is February of 2015. And I just and of course, immediately made an Instagram and started sharing my stuff. I had no idea what I was doing. Literally no idea. I was on maternity leave, like, of teaching. So I was no background in like any of those things that you need to start a business.
Yeah. Did you have any reservations, or were you just like, okay, this is like Etsy and Instagram, like that's where I started. I don't know what I'm doing, but
yeah,
I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah, no, I didn't ever think it would become anything more than just like a couple orders here and there and just send them out when I had time. I had always dreamed of being a stay-at-home mom, and that's all I wanted. And so when I was pregnant, I was like, well, I'm not ever going to go back to teaching. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, but I didn't really know how I was going to get there. And then, of course, I was a stay-at-home mom for a little bit on maternity leave, and I was like, okay, I don't like this.
That was totally me. Like, I want to leave my job and stay home with my kids. And then, like reality hits and you're like, oh my gosh, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Put me back to work, but doing something that I love, right?
Yes, exactly. And I did love teaching, but it was such long hours and no reward. Not that you need a reward, but like, it was just day in, day out, and I wouldn't see my son, because I did go back after my maternity leave for a short time. And I was like, okay, yeah, no, I don't want to do this. But I also didn't love just being home with a baby by myself. Like I was super bored. So it was a good way to pass the time, was the Etsy store. And so that was February, and it just kind of, I had orders here and there. I started to connect with other leaders, and I was growing a Young Living business at the time as well. And so I kind of would always do them simultaneously. And some seasons, the oil business was, more of my focus. In some seasons, it was more bracelets. And so it came to that Black Friday of that first year of starting, and I was back teaching, but I was like part-time, and I got so many orders on Black Friday. I had no idea that would ever happen. I did not know what to expect, but I ran like a little like promo, and I posted about it on Instagram, and it just blew up. And I remember just seeing the orders come in and being like, oh my gosh, I have to quit my job and I have to work all weekend and all next week. Like, I had no idea, because nothing was made at that time.
Oh my God.
I would make some stuff ahead of time, but I didn't think that I would ever get that many orders. I don't even know how many it was at this point, but at the time it was a lot.
Yeah. For just by yourself. Cause it was just sporadic, like here and there.
Oh yeah. Just me, in my office that was in our bedroom, because we had a little tiny house, and I just started. I remember literally the orders coming in on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and just like literally grabbing my suede and being like, well, I'm just going to start braiding right now.
I love it. I love it. No panic. You're like, better get to work.
Yeah. I was like, sorry, husband, take the kid. I got to work. And I did. I just worked the next like 3 or 4 days, and then that whole next week, and to get the orders out. And then because of so many orders that leaders were buying for their teams, that was the snowball that it really like set us off. So then people were really sharing and really like getting them as gifts and that kind of thing. So then that following year, I was like, okay, I can't teach anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I have to. And then I did hire some people to help me braid, and just mostly just like part-time stuff. They would just work from home, and I was still handling all of that, everything else, all the emails and all the social media and photos and stuff that I had no idea what to do. And I get so many people that ask me like, what's your advice for starting a business? Or, what did you do? I'm like, I just Googled it. I just, whatever the problem was, like, how do I make this listing photo, or what's search engine optimization? Like, I just Googled it. And I would ask friends for help, or people that I knew how to do those things. But at the end of the day, I still, I didn't have the money to pay someone. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah, I love it. And I posted literally about it yesterday. I was like, you don't have to go to business school. You don't have to go to marketing school.
Oh, no.
Or whatever, major in those things. Like, you can literally go to the school of Google, YouTube, or podcast and learn anything and everything. So if that's like, if you're out there and that's holding you back of like, I don't know anything about business. Chelsea and I did not know anything about business when starting business. Right.
Nothing.
And like I'm recognizing what you did, which is what I did, was you literally just jumped in. You said, all right, I'm doing it. I'm starting an Etsy page. I'm starting an Instagram. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm just going to go for it. And if you hadn't done that, and you would have sat back and hemmed and hawed and let the fears creep in and the unknowns, you would have never started it, and it would never be this amazing company that it is now. So I love that. Love that. Okay. So collaboration, let's talk a little bit more about that, because I know that's a big part of your journey. Yeah. The part that you are now. And I see you at these events, and you're with these two very specific girls, and I see you all on Instagram. So tell me more about collaboration, because I know that is huge and a great way to grow audience and get customers. So
as I was kind of mentioning before, I've had seasons where I was more into growing my oil business, or more into working the bracelets, and I really kind of got off not as passionate about working the bracelet business as I was the oils for a little bit, because I was just kind of lonely. I was just working it by myself, and I really need people to bounce ideas off of, and to just like give me their opinions or just, things like that. And so there was this time there I was just like, this isn't fun anymore because I'm doing it all by myself, and I want a team, but I couldn't afford to pay for a team, or whatever it might have been. And so I had been in contact with these two friends that own businesses. So WhimsyandWellness does oil bottles, and she has a huge business, and it's amazing. And Modern Makery makes bags that you put your oils in, and she makes everything handmade and so beautiful. And so we kind of just would connect on Instagram and different things like that. And actually, our first collaboration was with Modern Makery 2 Christmases ago. As I was thinking back to, when did we first collaborate? Well, we did a Christmas collaboration, and it didn't go off very well.
Okay.
We had prepared so much, spent so many hours talking and saying, okay, we're going to do this bracelet with this bag and all this stuff. And we prepped so many things, and we had it all ready to go. We launched it. And I don't know, who knows what went wrong. Maybe it was too late in the season, or the price point was too high, or whatever it was, but it just did not go over well. And
no one was buying when you thought they would, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just a total flop. And we laugh about it now, like that was our first thing we did, and we couldn't sell them. I think we probably still have some of those things around that we just were never able to sell. But we
did you post them on Instagram, or were they on Etsy? Were they on your shop and her shop? Like, what did that look like?
We've done, like, over the years, we've tried so many different things. Like, I'll carry it, and then you point people to my store, or you carry it, and vice versa. And but yeah, we photographed everything together all the time, posted on all the things, and it just didn't go over very well. But so since then, we continued to like work together and talk, and probably last spring, we all three really started talking a lot more and collaborating a lot more, and mostly just working together. I call them my coworkers, because we just talk all day, and we bounce the ideas off of each other. We send final, here are all my ideas, tell me which ones you like, which ones you don't. We have a running spreadsheet where we give each other ideas and just different things like that we're constantly like, oh, you should do this, or I saw this bracelet and maybe you could make something similar, or whatever it might be. And so it's just so nice. I feel like I finally have a team again, and I can really work together with them. And we all are so busy, but we all will always drop anything for the other people to kind of, if they need advice or whatever it might be. So that has been the biggest blessing in having them in my life. But then, we do actually make product together, and that's really evolved since our first collaboration a few years ago. And now we will literally design things together, and we'll have an idea that we'll work on for. We just released a Harry Potter collaboration, and we've been working on that since the beginning of last year. And we literally, brainstormed it together, thought of, all the pieces together, looked at color swatches together, the whole thing. And it went over really well. So that's been really fun. And it's just been great having them to work with. It makes it feel a little less lonely, because they really get what we're going through, what I'm going through. So.
I feel like I was somehow channeling you guys, because we released that Harry Potter class. It's not technically Harry Potter, because I don't know if I can say Harry Potter, but the Wizardly Potions and Brews or whatever.
Oh, yes. I saw that. Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. So apparently that's but I've seen, the stuff for that, collab on Instagram. It's so cute. And people who are HP fans are like die hard HP fans. So
yes, and I'm not a huge I'm not a huge fan. I love it, but I'm not diehard like
I've
some.
never seen it. So
Ah!
don't send the hate mail. Harry Potter fans, do not send me hate mail. I've never seen it. I'm like kind of a wuss. And I'm like, there's scary parts. My husband was like, oh my gosh, you're such a baby. I'm like, what? It's kind of creepy. Like, I'm just not into it. It's not my thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you
They
love it.
actually made me read the book last fall. I read the book, and the book is really good. So I
Well,
was
that's
like, okay.
aggressive. I would have just been like, I'll watch the movie.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I don't read. I listen to it on audio.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
while working. I listened to it, and I was like, okay, I can see what all the fuss is about, but I was never able to get fully into it. Oh, we're turning so many people off, I'm sure, because they love their Harry Potter. But it was so nice because they were able to give their input on. If I couldn't have made anything Harry Potter by myself, I wouldn't
Right.
have known. But they were able to say like, oh yeah, make the. So we ended up doing a blue goldstone bracelet, which looks like a starry night kind of.
Okay.
So it was really cool to be able to like kind of put all those things together, and it came out really well. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was
So, I mean,
fun.
when people think of collaboration, or even when I think of it, it's like, hey, let's get together. Maybe we do a giveaway together. And so we're sharing on
Right.
our socials where, I'm asking my audience to follow me and you and, or maybe we're putting two pieces together, but you guys have taken it a step further and you're literally designing together. And that's like next level collaboration. And
Yeah.
it's not, I mean, I would say to the audience, it's not something you have to do, but
Right.
I love that you've taken it to that level. And do you think that that has brought in more business doing that for everyone across the board? Like, how do you think that has impacted to actually design on that level of collaboration together, three separate companies?
Yeah. Yeah. We have a very specific audience, as with our businesses, it's mostly essential oil users. And it works really well because we have three very unique products that really complement each other. So, bracelets, bottles, and bags, and we kind of
Mm-hmm.
all can really work together nicely. Um, and we always joke like, how do we still have, one of our businesses will share about the other, and then people will say, "Oh, I've never heard of them," and we're like, how are there people out there still that haven't heard of one of the pieces of our puzzle
Right.
here because we do so much together. But definitely, one of us will do some type of collaboration maybe with someone else outside of our little group, and then we'll bring in new people for all of us. That kind
Uh-huh.
of thing. Or just maybe jewelry isn't some people's thing that they would go search out, but they are using Haley's bottles, and then they find me through her, that type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. And I definitely think it's really impacted business. And I just really feel like the best part about it is just really being able to like serve our community really well. Like we just know our customers so well. Like we have all of the same customers, which is super fun. So it's really fun to be able to do stuff at events together, the three of us. But then like a collaboration like that, everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people know our three shops. And so they're really excited to, be able to support all three of us at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really, it's fun for us, but yeah, I definitely think that it's impacted all of our businesses. But the biggest thing for me has been just the community and just
Mm-hmm.
being able to like truly support other businesses, like just wanting them to succeed so much. We just constantly, no matter what we have going on, a launch or a release or something new, or we're texting and calling each other, how's it going? What's happening? How are people liking it? That type of thing. And just up to the minute updates.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really nice to have people like, having your back like that, no matter what. But the three of us work together a lot, but I love working with other businesses too, even if we have similar products, because I know that like, especially when I'm creating something that is unique, and I have, like I said, a very specific customer in mind when I'm creating like an essential oil user. What do they need to make their day easier or their life better? And so it's like, if there's another jewelry company out there doing something it's probably going to be different than what I'm doing, and I'm never going to do it how they're doing it. And so I would love to support them and work with them. And, I have a collaboration coming up with another jewelry company for Christmas. And it's just been so fun because it's just, even though our products now are very similar, it's okay. There's room for all of us, like I love pointing people to her shop and supporting her, because I think that I offer something really specific and I'm going to stay in that niche, and that's just where I'm going to stay. And clearly there's plenty of, there's enough room for everyone kind of thing, so maybe if my things aren't someone's jam, then hers will be, that type of thing. And so I feel really confident, and I know that my stuff's never going to overlap with hers. And so I'm like, we can totally support each other. There's no reason why we can't,
And did she reach out to you or did you reach out to her?
She reached out to me, through Instagram. And then we met at Young Living Convention.
Okay.
So,
and what did she say to you? Because I know people get messages all the time. So like you said, yes. So was there something in like what she initially said to you, or like what made you decide to say yes?
That's a great question. Because I think this is really, really, really important to me specifically. Her stuff, I don't want to give it away because we have a huge thing coming up.
Okay. But don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Well, hopefully this is a total tangent, but our package is locked currently. So if it doesn't get found, I don't know that we'll be doing our collaboration, which is devastating. But so everybody just pray that it is found. She actually reached out to me and just said, I would love any advice that you have for the upcoming Young Living Convention, the aroma sharing event that we do every year, because she got in and just wanted to know, how it was and what to expect and that type of thing.
Right, because you had experience. You had been there 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. 3 years. Yeah. So that was my third year. I don't know. It's all a blur at this point.
Doesn't matter. You had some experience. She wanted to pick your brain.
But it's just funny because my first year doing that event, it was nothing. It was tiny. Like I had a little table and a little pop-up. But yeah, she reached out and I, checked out her page, and I truly was like, I have never seen anything like this. And that is awesome. And I was like 100% like, I need this. I want this necklace and I want to wear it. And this is beautiful. And I love your style. And that is the biggest thing for me, because if I, get approached by someone that's doing something that's copying somebody else, or, just not really super original ideas, it's hard for me to be like, okay, yeah, let's collaborate, because maybe I even know the original maker of that. And I'm like, I don't want to support this other company that's copying someone else. So that's like a huge, huge thing for me. And I'm sure that doesn't happen in every industry. But I'm probably like, I think that that's what's so important, is like having your own just voice and vibe, and like obviously original products. And then it's like that right there. I'm like, oh yes, I want to support you 100%, no hesitation. And so she sent me a message, and I just kind of like looked over her stuff and was like, yes, love this so much. I want all of it. And I just said, oh, your stuff is beautiful, and like, here's everything you need to know, and blah, blah. Not that I would have withheld information if she wasn't.
Your stuff sucks. I'm not telling you anything.
Exactly. But, it was just, I just immediately knew like I wanted to support her any way I could, because I just thought she had something really great. And so, then we just kind of connected and started collaborating. So it was back in July where I was like, hey, I want to do something with you at Christmas. So let's work on it. And we actually have created something together, again, like fully, not just putting two pieces together, making something like completely unique.
Hey, you guys, I want to take a tiny break to ask you, check in. How are your eyes doing? That was probably not the question that you thought I was going to ask you, but I'm concerned about your eyes. Why? Because I'm concerned about my eyes. We're on our devices all day. We're on our phones before we get out of bed in the morning. We're on our computers creating, then we're back to our phones after work hours. We're on our phones when we're in bed at night before we go to sleep. Literally all day. No judgment from me because I am doing it over here. I'm a busy entrepreneur and my business is run online. So I'm always in front of devices, and I've been nervous about long-term effects. How are my eyes going to be in 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years? Not to mention my eyes have just been tired at the end of the day. So I've been doing a lot of research. I've been looking up different products and I found one that I am loving. It's called Illumin Eyes. It's all natural, safe, and effective. Only been taking it a couple weeks and already my eyes don't feel as tired at the end of the day. So as an entrepreneur, I highly, highly, highly recommend this one. One purple pill a day. You guys, the purple pill is legit, let me tell you. For more information on Illumin Eyes, how to get it yourself, hop over to my website, thechrissychin.com/eyes, EYES. Grab the link, grab yourself a bottle, maybe two, stay stocked up. If you like wholesale pricing because you like to save money, I have that option for you over there as well. So go drink the Kool-Aid, take the purple pill, and let your eyes shine. Welcome back to the Badass is the New Black podcast. I am here with Chelsea and we are going to dive back in.
Yeah.
I'm reserving space on the credit card. I literally just opened my credit card, and we have to talk about your sister because she's like the best saleswoman ever. If you're watching on YouTube versus listening on the podcast, you can see my amazing jewels mixed in with the bracelet I never take off, which I told her. So she just starts layering bracelets on me and she's like, well, this would go perfect. All these black gemstones would go perfect with your, my intent bracelet, and like was just twisting them on. And I'm like, okay, just leave them on. Just take off the tag. I'm just gonna wear these out.
Oh, I know. I can't do events without her. But it's kind of funny. That's how we feel. The three of us, my Modern Makery, Whimsy and Wellness, and myself, we can sell each other's products all day. I can't sell my own product. Like, it's just too hard to be like, oh, have you seen my bracelets? They work amazing, blah, blah, blah. But I can go over to Kate's bags and be like, you need this wristlet. This is my favorite thing in the whole world, and tell everybody all the specifics about it that make it so amazing. So that's another part of collaborating that's really nice, is to be able to just like share all the reasons why you love that product in a
yeah,
true,
but you love
way.
your product too. You got to channel that.
Totally.
Like you made it for
totally.
a reason. So like channeling that, but I can totally understand like I don't know what it is, like the insecurity or the, it's my thing. Like, what is it for you that kind of holds you back in feeling like you can really sell your own product? We're going to get like a little deep here. Maybe. I don't
know. Well, for me, like, especially with like the diffusing aspect of my jewelry, like I know that the faux suede holds the oil better than anything else on the market, but it's just such a bold statement. It's just so hard to be like, this is going to diffuse your oils better than anything else out there. And so instead I'm like, it's a really good diffuser, it's better than most things. It's just hard for me to just be so like bold about it, whereas they can walk up and be like, this is the best,
Yeah. What are you worried about disappointing the buyer if they don't think like it's the best, or like you just said, like, I know it's the best.
I know, and I do. And so when you said, are you worried about disappointing? I'm not, because I know that it is the best. And I hear the feedback like, oh my gosh, this holds the smell so long. And I'm like, yes, I know. I think it's just, maybe they just, honestly, I don't know.
All right, I'm challenging you. Next event, you got to say those words. This holds it the best. I promise. Yeah. Because you're the expert. You've tried all of the fabrics, all of the things. Like they're coming to you and trusting you. And like if that's what you really believe, like be bold. Girl.
Yeah.
Challenging you.
Yeah, that's true. Or, just hire some help to help you.
Yes, which is your sister, and she's amazing, right?
Which is my sister,
tell us how that started. Getting that just Tell me a little
She
bit
has
more about bringing her on board. How is it working with family? I work with family, so I just want your.
Yeah, it's great. It's so great. We work together in the oil business as well, sharing oils. And we kind of, I was missing that as I wasn't doing the oils as much anymore. So I have brought her on to help me with different types of things that she's really good at. I'm very much a firm believer in, things lots of people say, like Lindsay Teague and some of those that are like, do what you're good at, just find the things that you're good at and do them. And that's what we need you to do. And then you can hire other people to do the things that you don't like to do or you're not as good at. And for me, I am not very good at graphic design. And so I have like a very specific eye and a very specific vision on how I want something to be. But I can't really execute it. And so she is so good. So I call her my graphic designer, even though of course she's never had any training, she went to school to be a food scientist. So she has a master's in that.
She has creativity then, right? She's got the creative gene.
She's a scientist, basically. But she just has a really good eye for it, And so, and it's really nice because she's my sister, so she can make something and I'm like, nope, hate it. She can, and she'll redo it. But so she just works for me whenever we have like a launch or something like that, and she will design graphics for stories or for the website or whatever it might be, emails, and so she also just comes to events with us. So that's really nice because I can, get her to come with us and enjoy the weekend, and there's not a whole lot of downtime at events, but at least we can, enjoy some nice dinners and at least get to hang out during the actual like event. And I could not do it without her, but I definitely love having her around for all of them. So it's really fun. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. And I love that you have recognized like what you don't like. So I'm going to take back my forcing you to like, Chelsea, step outside your comfort zone and tell people these things. When she takes a bathroom break, there's your one small opportunity to stretch yourself.
I know, right?
Otherwise, you let her do the sales because, you don't love to do it. And
exactly. That's the thing. I've really learned if you don't love to do it, it's going to take you twice as long to do it and you're not going to enjoy it. And I mean, when you're just starting out, there's a point of like, you're going to have to do all the things. Mm-hmm. Like I had to do all the things. And now I at least have, so I actually, at the beginning of this year in January, we brought all 5 of our people on payroll, and they weren't just like contract employees anymore. And so I have a team of 5, and so crazy.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a huge like milestone in business to when you yourself, then you bring on one person. And it happens. I think people get scared of, we've got a whole team, basically doing Grow Workspace. We're overseeing it and all of that, but that's how I have more time to focus now on other passion projects and building this podcast and all of the things, is because we brought a team on board, and it happens gradually. And, you have experienced that as well. Like it starts with one person or getting childcare for a few hours for your little ones, right? That's probably the first place. Like that counts as like someone on your team, right? And for me, it was a nanny share. So I didn't even have like, I felt like, oh, I can spend, what's it going, right? $15, $17 an hour, for childcare. Like, I'm like, okay, I got to think outside the box. Perfect. The neighbors are doing a nanny share across the street. I'm just going to wiggle my little guy into that. And so it was like
awesome.
$5 an hour, a couple hours, 2 days a week. I had some extra time to just do more for the business. So I think that's, as a mom, and a lot of you moms out there with younger kids, that can be your very first step. And like, do like, okay, you can't even afford $8 an hour. Like no excuses. Let's think outside the box, figure it out. Do a swap with, your neighbor, where you watch their little one day and they're watching yours, and you're not, pulling any money out of your pocket, but just using that. And then when you can bring someone on to do that first thing that you don't have to do, like someone else can totally do it for you, packaging, if you have a that you're sending, or I don't know, editing something or, whatever it is that you hate doing, you can pass off, do that like as quickly as you
Yeah.
can. Start
Yeah.
passing things off because that's just going to help you build quicker.
Yeah.
Bigger.
And it just frees up your brain space and your time to just think of these other things. Haley from Whimsy and Wellness is the queen of that, of delegating. And she'll constantly ask us, is there someone else that can do that? Can you hire someone else that can do that? Especially if it's a thing that's really sucking the life out of you. If you're really frustrated and you're really hating, however many hours you're spending on social media or whatever it is, hire someone to help you. And then you're going to be so relieved. You're going to feel so much more free, I actually, and it's funny, I like sharing some of the fails. I did hire a social media person for a while to help me. And while she is amazing and I love her so much, it wasn't really working for us because my community needed to hear my voice. They needed to hear me. And so now, so I finally kind of took it back, and it was like, okay, that didn't really work for us, but there was a lot of other ways that we could have done it. Like maybe I just, because I love the photos, like maybe I just take the photos, or maybe I just write the captions, but I need someone to respond to comments or respond to DMs or whatever it might be. Like maybe there's a piece of it that you could pass off and maybe not the whole thing. And like, what are the like really important parts that you do need to show up for? Like I do need to be there. And really for me, so once I kind of took it back and reevaluated, I was like, okay, well, now that I'm doing it again, I need to, and this was like years ago, but I'm like, now I need to find something else that I can pass off, because I do need to make more time for this, because my favorite part of the business is the connection and the community and the relationships. And so I was missing that too. Like I wasn't getting to talk with my friends on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I was like, it wasn't working for us. So I was like, okay, what other thing can I pass off? And so I have 2 people that fill orders, and I have 1 girl that makes a lot of the product, and I have like essentially a virtual assistant, because I hate writing emails. Hate. So like when you're like podcast, I'm like, sure. If it was like a blog post on like, your story, no, thank you. So it was just finding those things that I hate doing and then passing those off. And then it frees me up to do, the important stuff like Instagram or whatever that I actually like to do, And so I think that that's really important, but it takes a lot of like self-reflection and a lot of like, what is really like holding me down here? Like, or taking you twice as long as it would take somebody that was trained to do it, and it doesn't have to be a lot. Like hiring a friend to answer Instagram comments or DMs, like you could trade in product, or you could, who knows, like there's so many other options. Like, also like Haley's a great writer. And so, I take a lot of her photos and she'll write stuff for me. And so it's a great little trade-off, because I love photographing. So I'm like happy to do it. The days I get to photograph all day are like my favorite days. And so she's like, sure, I'll write up some, like listings or captions for you or whatever. And then we both get to do what we like to do. So it really,
I was going to ask you about photographing, if you do your photos, or if you, because they look amazing, and we'll give you,
thank you,
Chelsea's social handles. You can go check everything out. But they look very professional. So that's why I was like, she probably has someone do her photos. But you do them yourself.
Yeah, I do. I'm definitely, again, not a professional and no formal training. I still don't really know how to use my camera, and I do a lot of iPhone stuff. And I know that, like, I can see some of the like errors or whatever it might be, but I'm like, I love it. And maybe I'm not the best in the world, but I love doing it. And I love editing. I love just seeing that like transformation of just something like that's kind of boring or whatever it might be. And then it just like edit it and you do all these special things to it, and it just looks so beautiful. And I love beautiful things. It's one of my favorite things. On my list of favorite things is beautiful things. So I just love editing and just that type of stuff. But I know like that I have, I'm sure, a long way to go. And I think it has held me back over the years of like, oh, I have to hire a photographer because my photos aren't great. I don't know what I'm doing, And again, I have hired photographers and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'm like, no, this is the thing I actually like to do. So I'm going to free up my time by giving a different task to someone else, and then I'm going to learn how to do it, and I'm going to get better. And it's actually what I like to do. So why not do that more,
Yeah. Yeah. Love it.
So
And everybody's different. We hire out photography because
exactly.
it's like not our strong suit. So it's like,
Yeah.
do your own photography because you love it. Like that's the one thing, like when we started, we hired that out. Like,
Yeah.
so you just have to know and listen to your
Yeah.
gut and what you're doing. So I
Yeah,
love that.
exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you about scaling your business, but we kind of covered that. You started off one man band. Now you've got five people. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Where are you getting some of your business inspiration these days?
Inspiration. Just as a whole, or for products and things?
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, like we said, neither of us have a business degree. So are there some favorite podcasts, audiobooks that you listen to? Like what types of things, to help you grow and develop your business are you tapping into? Maybe it's just the other girls in your collab.
Yeah, I would definitely say, like, at this point, just with like little babies and just the craziness of it all, that's kind of been the easiest, just the connection and the collaboration with two other business owners has been like the easiest form of inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Because we, text and we Marco Polo a lot, and it's like you can Marco Polo while holding a baby, or, and it makes it really easy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use Marco Polo?
Oh, I did for a little bit, and then I
Yeah.
didn't. Voxer is like another one, and then somehow
Okay.
I turned off my notifications, and now it'll be days. I'm like, wait, I have to go back and check that because I like to be able to speed it up.
Yes.
But the Marco
So
Polo
nice.
is fun because you can see faces, so
Yes.
makes it a
Yeah,
little
and for us, we were doing a lot through text message and just voice memos because we all are working all the time. So Kate's always sewing, and she doesn't, she can't text out a bunch of stuff. So we would send voice memos, and then we switched to Marco Polo, and you can save them. And so I love it. I definitely think it's one of my favorite tools in business. And one of my girls that works for me, we Marco Polo all day. And so I'll say, like, here's a little, tutorial on this thing, and she'll just save it, or I will give her information about something, and then she can see what I'm talking about. So
right.
It's one of my favorite things. So if you don't use it, those are you that don't use
Marco Polo.
Yes. And so for us, like, or for me, I think talking to them has just been very inspirational. And I mean, I try whenever I can to listen to a new podcast, but I don't get out that much, and I always try to listen to them when I'm in the car, but I don't really drive that much, which is really nice. But and then when I'm working, I usually am talking to someone on Marco Polo. So and for me, like, that's just what works, because like I mentioned, like, I did feel pretty lonely there for a while in my business, and so it feels like it just kind of brings other people in, and I can kind of it feels like other people are here with me, and kind of like work together, like almost like we're coworkers, or like in an
like
office
space.
Yeah, except for we're not, and we're all across the country. My sister even is in Colorado, and the other girls, one's in Kentucky, one's in Sacramento, and I'm in San Diego. So it just feels like it really connects us all. So that's definitely a big part of my day, and my like inspiration for things is just kind of collaborating just with all the people.
Yeah.
So if you can't tell, I'm definitely a people person, and I'm an extrovert, and so like working from home by myself can be really hard for people like us, and so that's really helped not feel so isolated.
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally relate to that. And if I'm doing like a meeting on Zoom with like someone on the team, then we just end up like the meeting kind of ends, and then we're like, oh, question about this, and then we just kind of start doing our own thing, and before we know it, we are literally just like working on our own things while we're on Zoom for like 2 hours. We're like chatting back and forth, and it's like we're in this little shared office space, and we can bounce ideas. Now that's probably not the most like productive way to work, because then you're interrupting each other, or, then I'm asking, Josiah to do something for me because I can't figure it out. And he's like, let me just do it. Let me take over your computer. And then he's like doing stuff on my computer, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
But it's fun, and it gives you that connection, because you're right. Like, it can be kind of a lonely space here. Most of my friends are not entrepreneurial and don't have their own business. And so it can feel very lonely. And so being able to connect and find those people, whether it's a social media group, or then, at a live event, or connecting again at a live event, and just building that connection is just really important. So I can completely relate to that whole scenario.
I'll leave my FaceTime or whatever it is up, with some of my friends, and we'll just work alongside each other, and it makes it feel really nice. So if you're not doing that and you're feeling lonely, find that other person that you can work, like hang out with virtually while you're working, because it does. Life more. And like for me, time is so important. So like you mentioned, like maybe it's not the most time efficient, and it's true, but like for me, like going to a coffee shop or meeting up with a friend, that takes so much more time. And I have to get dressed. So
I have to shower.
Or maybe I have a baby that's napping, and so it's like I can still work with someone here, and while I'm here. And so I'm so thankful for this day and age and all the things that we have. And that was definitely something I was concerned about when I left teaching, is I loved my team and I love my students and families and stuff. And I just feel like especially this oil community is just so great and so welcoming. And like I mentioned, like that's my favorite place to be, is on Instagram, in my DMs, chatting with someone about their, new baby or whatever it might be. And like, it's so much more than just business. It's like actual personal connections that I've made with these people over 5 years, and like the support is just, it's crazy. I always am so thankful, knowing like if something were to happen or something, even this like collaboration box that's currently lost, like I know that no matter what happens, like my customers are going to be like, it's fine, like it'll be okay. We can, the package, your orders are late because you had a sick kid. Like I totally get it, and that is just so nice knowing that you have that type of community. And so I'm just really thankful.
And it's the connection, that you've done on Instagram for sure, that makes people more willing to forgive, right? Because they see you, they know who you are, they've connected with you, as opposed to just like going on the web, clicking the button, not knowing anything. And then you're like super pissed. So I think that connection, like when you have a physical product that you're, or someone else, if you're in network marketing and a bigger company is doing your orders for you and you have no control over that, that's almost the worst.
I know.
But if you've connected with those people and, apologize, acknowledge the frustration, and like do whatever you can to make it right, like they're more forgiving because you have that relationship.
Totally.
There's always the one like random like sour Sally that is like not having it. And you're just like, I can't let this ruin my day. Sorry, Sally.
Right.
Like it's gonna come.
I mean, obviously there's going to be the people, and it's a lot harder when you don't have control over it. But I think even like I've seen other businesses that have grown into huge businesses. Like one I can think of off the top of my head is Solly Baby Wrap. Do you know that wrap company?
Maybe. I thought maybe.
Yeah, their founder, they started small and now they're a huge company, but she's always been the face of their company, and she's always, does live videos, and you can tell when it's her talking in an Instagram post or whatever it might be, even though they're huge, because that's what's important to her. She was the start of all of it and was like the really important piece, and so I think like as businesses grow and stuff, like sometimes that can get lost, even in our own like smaller network marketing businesses or whatever it is, like people are following you for a reason or coming to you for a reason, and so like keeping that connection is so important, and it's it can be kind of hard to navigate, but it's also like really important, so Yeah.
Absolutely. I love it. I love all the information you've given us. I know it's going to be so helpful. Anyone out there listening, if you have more questions, if something sparked an idea for you, like share it with us, put it on social, tag us, send us some DMs, use the voice. If you're on podcast, you can use a little voice recorder. I'm waiting for someone to send the voice recording so I can then put them on the show. So you'll be the first person. Send us those voice questions. We'd love
that's
to tackle
awesome.
all right. Are you up for a little Spitfire hot questions, just to get to know you a little bit more? I'm just going to give you some random questions and you just have to answer them as fast as you can. And I promise.
Okay. Okay.
Are you up for it?
Yeah. So fast answer.
Yeah. So first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Salsa. Chips and salsa.
Amazing. Love it. Comedy or drama?
Comedy.
Favorite TV show? Now or of all time, whichever.
Well, of all time, probably Friends, but that's kind of boring. So, Parenthood.
Oh, that's a good one. Party trick. Do you have a party trick?
I do. I can do a great, literally, I can bend backwards pretty good and do a nice back bend.
Okay, so you're winning in the limbo. So never do the limbo when Chelsea's
exactly. Truly at a party, I can limbo really great.
Okay. Are you naughty or nice?
Well, probably nice, just to my core, but I love a good naughty.
All right. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
I guess probably fly. I think that would be
That's
cool.
A pretty good one.
Yeah.
All right. Last weird question. If you could shrink anything and take it with you, what would it be and what would you do with it?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't go anywhere. I already mentioned I don't ever go anywhere. I love my bed right now. So mostly I think because sleep is so foreign to me these days that I'm like, can I just take a nap?
I love it. So you're going to shrink your bed. You're going to take it with you and you're going to be like, I need nap time, guys. Pop up the bed.
Yes.
Yes. A little nap.
Always my goal on any type of vacation or getaway. I'm like, how much can I sleep? Because that's just all I want to do right now.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Okay, cool. And where can our audience find you on social media, or where can they connect with you?
So like I mentioned, I love hanging out on Instagram. So Put On Love Designs on Instagram. Yeah. Oh, that's so cute. The little sign. And then I'm on Facebook and where else? Our website.
You're on Facebook as Put On Love Designs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then our website is just putonlovedesigns.com. So.
Okay. Perfect. All the spaces, all the places. So that's where you can find Chelsea and ask your questions. And by the way, for all of our non-oily listeners out there, these bracelets are way beautiful, and you do not have to be an oil to wear them or use them.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, full disclosure, I did not put any oils on these bracelets today, and I'm still wearing them, and they're so beautiful. The gemstones are beautiful. I love the branding and the design with the, how many sides is that? 1, 2, 6. Is that a hexagon?
A hexagon. Yeah.
So bad.
8? I don't know.
I don't know. Sextagon? I don't know. Hexagon is 8? Yeah. Whatever. So love that. Love your branding. So if you guys want branding ideas, go over to their Instagram and just look at the branding, study the branding, because your branding is on point. And I absolutely love it. I love the new necklaces you came out with that just have the piece on the back of the neck. So the front does not look like a diffuser piece.
This is one of them.
Beautiful, gemstones?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just love those. Christmas is coming up. Some gifts. So totally putting a plug in there for you.
Thank you.
Over to your Instagram and the website. Thank you, Chelsea, so much for coming on the show today, meeting up with me and sharing all of your secrets. We have a lot of badass babes out there ready to take things to the next level. And I know that you've inspired them to, take that next step. So thank you again.
Yes, of
Don't
course.
forget to subscribe to the podcast or YouTube, rate and review the podcast or the YouTube channel, and send our questions your way or topics that you want me to go over. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick moment to hear from our sponsors, which is me. What's up? What's up? No, that sounded retarded. Editor, go ahead and edit that out.